Joining us in the studio, Liam Halligan, our economics and business editor. Can you give us the definitive answer to that question, Liam? Has Brexit made us richer or poorer?
There isn't a definitive answer. What is richness? Is richness sovereignty, self-determination? Is richness pounds and pence? Is richness a feeling that you can get rid of the people who make decisions over you from the ballot box? You don't have to be ruled by unelected bureaucrats in a foreign capital. Look, it's complicated, that's all I'll say. And I'm going to show you some graphs and tables here very, very briefly. We can talk about them. But I'm aware that even the process of putting, data from this national statistics up on the screen will really annoy some people.
Sure.
There are lots of people who just haven't accepted that we've left the European Union. And as Scarlett Maguire, I thought, brilliantly explained earlier, the young pollster, there are people who were for Brexit who feel that the government hasn't properly implemented Brexit. So everybody's kind of cheesed off. It's a weird sort of halfway house that we're in. But what I'm going to do now is just give you some information about growth and investment and unemployment and so on. I've got some graphics and I'll bring GB News radio listeners along for the ride. So just give me a little moment here. So let's have a look at GDP growth, and you'll see there, this is growth in the economy, all goods and services in the economy since 2016 to 2022, the last year for which full figures are available. And it's the cumulative growth, all the growth added up. And you'll see Italy on the left there, they've grown at about 6%. You'll see that we've got France, 8%, Germany, 8%, UK, a little bit more, around 9%, Spain just over 10%, and the mighty US getting on for 14% with their much, much cheaper energy. So it's not true to say that since we voted in the referendum that growth has lagged behind in the UK. We're roughly middle of the pack.
Yeah, because then you would expect the EU countries to have shot ahead and we would have been languishing.
For instance, we are not in technical recession at the moment, and the EU's largest economy, Germany, is very much in a recession at the moment. So it's just not true to say that it's been an economic disaster at all. Let's go on. Let's have a look at trade. Do you remember there was a certain notorious campaigner for Remain who said on BBC Question Time, our trade with Europe will go to absolutely zero, as if, and some people believe that. That was mad.
And that hasn't happened, has it?
Look, trade has been made harder, particularly if you're a small firm, right? It has been made harder, I accept that. But trade, our exports to the EU are actually at a record high now. 2019, the year before the withdrawal agreement, £298 billion of exports from the UK to the EU. 2022, 340 billion. Now, some of that increase is because of inflation, that 14% rise. But in volume terms too, our exports to the EU are at record highs. Just to give a little caveat, a lot of the reason our exports to the EU have gone up in 2022 so much is that we're importing a lot of liquefied natural gas from the US, which is very valuable. We've got the facilities, the docking stations, the harbours to do that.
Yeah.
We then re-export some of that to the EU. So those figures are, people will be screaming at the TV who don't like Brexit. I'm being as even-handed as I can possibly be. I've given you the caveat as to why...
It's just the data.
As to why exports...
What's foreign investment about, Liam?
So there's this concept in economics called foreign direct investment. It's when, say, Tata invest in a new steel plant, BMW come in. The UK has been a magnet for foreign direct investment, and that hasn't changed since Brexit, despite a lot of people saying that there would be no foreign direct investment. Between 2009 and 2015, the year before the referendum, our foreign direct investment into the UK was 1.6% equivalent of GDP. So that's pretty chunky. But since 2016, it's been 3.1% of GDP. So we've actually attracted a lot of...
almost doubled.
In terms of, if you measure it in terms of percentage of GDP. Think about the investments we've had here in the UK from the car companies, many of whom said they wouldn't invest if we left the European Union.
Well, some of them suggested they'd leave.
Yeah, but they have invested. They have invested.
We've run out of time, Liam.
Okay.
Well, more questions. Anyway, right, we have run out of time.
Right.
Thank you.